Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
Temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.
Sorry about that. Welcome to our event, the School Business Model, Teaching Life Skills to Students. I'm Sharon Sagas, a program officer at Teach 'em and to Fish, an organization guided by a simple, all-encompassing mission to empower young people with the skills they need to succeed in school, work, and life. To achieve this, we have programs like the School Enterprise Challenge that follow the school business model, which we'll be talking about in this session. We'll be hearing directly from a couple of teachers and the students who have taken part in the School Enterprise Challenge before, and they'll be telling us about their experience and learnings. Before that, however, it's important we go through a few housekeeping tips. Additionally to our panelists, we also have a wonderful team backstage who will be supporting us by managing your questions. So if you have any questions during the session, pop them in the Q&A and our team will attend to them. We will also address some of these during the Q&A section at the end. We also encourage you to share your comments and insights on what you hear throughout the session with people beyond this event through social media. So make sure to use the hashtag WorldEduWeek. So now, before hearing from our panelists, it would be great if we can just watch a brief video so that we can all be on the same page and understand what we mean by the school business model and what the School Enterprise Challenge is all about. Great. We hope you enjoyed that brief introduction of what the school business model and the School Enterprise Challenge are. As you can see, they are a way for students to engage in real life, practical learning through planning and setting up a real business at their school. To really understand the impact of this program, let's hear from our panelists themselves. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Divya Sharma. Welcome, Divya. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Greetings from India. I'm Divya Sharma, a science facilitator from ML Khanna DAV Public School, Dwarka, New Delhi, India. I have been involved in School Enterprise Challenge from last 5 years. Our school business, Sanjeevani Embracing Life, is a business for charity enterprise. We produce, promote, and sell eco alternatives for sustainable development. That is the need of the hour. We started our business way back in the year 2016 with just two products, that is potted plants and compost. And gradually we added an array of products ranging from handicrafts, terracotta products, healthy snacks, to name a few. But due to unexpected COVID pandemic, we had to shift our business on digital platforms. That we successfully did. As production process is not possible currently, we initiated fundraising events like e-tambola, music concert, etc. Our students, with the help of their parents, are also manufacturing products at home, catering to the recent needs like face masks, and herbal sanitizer. We are currently procuring special festive season products from local artisans to support them economically through virtual tours and selling them by organizing virtual shopping arenas and also through our social media handles. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. It's wonderful to hear how you and your students have been participating in the program for so long and how you've used your creativity to set up your successful businesses. We are very lucky also to have here today a student of yours, Ankur Mukherjee. Welcome, Ankur. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself as well?
Hello everyone, I am Ankur Mukherjee of ML Khanna, DAV Public School Dwarka, and I am from New Delhi, India. I am a 16-year-old boy and I have been involved in the School Enterprise Challenge since 2018, and currently I am the team leader of Team Sanjeevni.
Thank you, Ankur. We can't wait to hear of all the things you got up to while setting up and running your school business with your classmates. So the School Enterprise Challenge is very fortunate to welcome schools from all over the world. So with us today, we also have Jobert Nwenya from Zimbabwe. Welcome, Jobert. Could you please help us by introducing yourself too?
Thank you very much. My name is Jobert Ngwenya. I'm an educator from Evelyn High School in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. I teach economic history, heritage studies, and of course, entrepreneurship education. I've been involved in School Enterprise Challenge since 2017. Before the pandemic, my students had set up a successful digital magazine called Teens Click Zone. The magazine focused on young people, especially teenagers, and they were basically tackling important issues that concern teens, and they generated income by charging for an advertising space. Since the pandemic, they've pivoted towards food production as more digital magazines emerged, and as the space became very much swamped. We then added a poultry business into the picture, whereas children are producing broilers and layers, as there was an increase in the food demand during the lockdowns. And recently they launched another food product that is a snacking bar.
Fantastic. It's great to see how they managed to adapt to the pandemic so well by being flexible and addressing to the change in demand in their community. So following on that topic, we know that the COVID pandemic has shown that resilience and adaptability are two of the most important qualities a person must have in order to succeed in life and in work. How did your School Enterprise Challenge participants get on during these hard times? Do you think that the program prepared them for this at all, Jobert?
Sure, it did. As a school, we are hard hit by the pandemic like most other sectors. So having run a business before showed how the students had developed great adaptability and resilience skills, and their experience and skills helped them to carry on successfully. For example, they already knew that a business needs to respond to customer needs. So as I mentioned before, the learners changed the focus of their business to respond to the newly increased demand for food products. We had made great use of social media during the pandemic, which the learners already knew how to use and how to deliver effective communication campaigns due to their experience in the digital magazine. Additionally, they were proactive in searching for solutions, especially the digital solutions. For example, as part of our reporting processes, they actually suggested the use of digital tools that I've been myself as a teacher was not really familiar with. So the program really has shown that skills of resiliency can be developed amongst learners.
Thank you, Jobert. You've made it really clear how building adaptability and resilience helps learners, particularly at challenging and changing times like these, and how your students develop these skills through their experience with their school business. It would be good to hear now from Divya. Divya, why do you think a school business is such an effective way for students to develop key life skills? And also, in what stage of the school business journey, that is the ideation, the planning, or the implementation, do you think that most of the learning and skills development happens?
Yes, according to me, school business give exposure to students in varied domains. They get to learn in so many different areas. May it be communication or teamwork or problem solving, to name a few. Each stage contributes to the development of young learners. However, according to me, it is the implementation step when they are faced with the most real challenges. When students are coming up with a business idea or planning a business plan, they actually deal with ideal scenarios. It is not until students actually do it that they get a sense of how things work in reality. For instance, only after understanding changing customers' demands, facing problems with packaging that really need solving, students are being confronted with the reality of sales.
Thanks, Divya. It's great to see how the school business model's practical nature is the thing that has really helped your students get prepared for the real world. So following on this, as you've explained, the school enterprise challenge is quite different to other theory-based models, as it is designed to replicate a genuine entrepreneurial journey. This, however, tends to involve struggle and disappointment before there can be success. Contrastingly, we know that most school systems around the world do not allow or give space for failure. It would be great to hear from your perspective as a student now, Anchor. Can you think of a time when something in the business went wrong or not as expected, and how you reacted to it, and what did you learn from this experience?
Yes, there was one product which we launched and named it as Glow in the Dark. So Glow in the Dark had alphabets and numbers which were created by adding fluorescent materials. These get charged during the day by sunlight and then glow at night. So these were created with an intention to conserve energy. At night, by putting nameplates with glow in the dark alphabets and numbers, we initially didn't get a positive response. We put a lot of effort in preparing that product, and when sales were not what we expected, it all seemed to have been in vain. We did not let that feeling defeat us, and we used the experience to improve. We came up with a different product of which we made samples which we could use to do market research with before producing more of it. So the result of a change in strategy and hard work paid off, and we got a very positive response from our customers. And the learning that we got from this experience is that never repent on your mistakes, rather learn from it and then improvise yourself.
Fantastic, Anchor. This is a great example of the adaptability and resilience, as well as other great life skills that you and your peers develop through their school business activities. We agree that it is important to know that accepting that there is a possibility of failing is a necessary part of any innovation and entrepreneurship process. Now, Jobert, as we saw in the video, the School Enterprise Challenge is a student-led program, which means that it is the students themselves who take the lead on coming up with their business idea, writing their business plan, and launching and running their business. So, how do you see your role as a teacher within all of this?
So my role as a teacher is purely of facilitating the whole learning process. In the 21st century, we need the learners who are able to take charge of their life. So my role basically involves enrolling the learners who are interested in the program, sharing information with the learners on what the program is basically all about, And on the part of enrolling, I've now derolled from that activity. I also involved the senior members of the program to do the enrolling and the orientation of the new members. And as we go through the program, I assist with equipment, additional educational resources from School Enterprise Challenge. I also act as a link between the learners and the school administration, and I also link the learners with their parents if there's so much need. And I also advise them on some issues that are legal, for example, within the business, within the food business space, there are legal issues that we need to deal with. So I then advise them in that area. And I also remind them of the deadlines that we normally have to meet in order to be successful in our program. And basically, the students will do the rest.
That's great. That's fantastic to hear. It's great to hear how you facilitated instead of leading your students' journey, and by doing so, you enable them to take ownership of their learning and growth. And now, from your perspective as a student anchor, could you tell us a bit more about your experience taking the lead with your teammates with limited guidance from your teacher?
Okay, so it was an exciting and thrilling adventure for me to take the lead and to run a business team along with my teammates with limited guidance from my lead teacher. As the team leader, I was given more responsibility, but I welcomed this as I knew it was a great opportunity for me to learn even more. And I was right by coming up with new business plan, marketing our products, putting up stalls, handling customers, and managing our finances, among many other things. I became more independent and confident.
Thank you, Anchor. It's lovely to hear you not only telling us how much you've enjoyed leading your own learning journey with the support of your teachers, but also seeing you reflecting on all you've done. Speaking of which, at Teach a Man to Fish, our mantra is we do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience, which is a quote from John Dewey. Is this something that you do with your students, Divya? What has the impact been?
Definitely. In all our meetings and after each event we host, we have a session where each one of us shares his or her observations and reflects on the growth they experienced and ways of improving in the future. According to me, reflecting helps solidify the learning. During these sessions, students have really found solutions to the problems they faced. For example, when we suddenly fall into the trap of coronavirus and had to face difficult lockdown situation, the biggest question was what we are now going to do digitally. Who will buy our products when they are all facing such income downfall? Thinking about charity was a faraway thing. After a series of discussions, surveys, and brainstorming sessions, we came up with the idea of proving us to be ecopreneurs, as we fondly call our budding entrepreneurs, in true sense in current circumstances, and simultaneously serve people as well as planet. We focused on stress busters as our golden hen and cloth masks and sanitary kits as our primary tool to ensure charity. We came up with this amazing way that costs us nothing being on digital platform and gave us huge returns in terms of not only monetary profits but definitely also collaborations and goodwill for future.
Thank you, Divya. We absolutely agree on the importance of reflecting to complete the full cycle of learning to really make it last. And we are happy to hear that it has helped your students come up with new solutions to diverse challenges as well. Now, Jobert, another way in which we believe that transforming the future of young people and improving the education sector can be accelerated is through the exchange of expertise and knowledge. How have you benefited from this as a teacher?
Thank you very much for that question. I think as a teacher, I've really benefited a lot from the program. The first point maybe that I would raise is that as I was taking the students through this program, I was also learning in the process. And in the process of learning, this has actually helped me in starting my own side enterprises, a dream that I had for quite a long time, a dream that I'd incubated for years. And somehow starting on my business ventures had been a challenge, but taking the learners through had made me jump into the unknown, and the benefits have been tremendous. Next to that, I've been directly challenged by the learners themselves, that I can be more than just a mere classroom teacher. Because in our case, really teachers are looked back down upon and so on and so forth. And this has actually led me to become more than a mere teacher. I've started an organization that promotes entrepreneurship education in schools, which allows me to share my expertise as an educator and basically to influence entrepreneurship education outside the confines of my school. And again, as due to the excellency in part of the school enterprise challenge, I was selected among 125 global teachers to be part of the Fulbright Teaching Excellence Program, which is sponsored by the US State Department, and which is quite a networking program for me, because it helps you to meet teachers from all over the world and we share different experiences. And the networking to me comes as a result of my work as an entrepreneurship educator through the School Enterprise Challenge. And connecting with other teachers through the program has also been beneficial in that it has informed my classroom practice and basically how to handle the School Enterprise Challenge programs. And I've even received a sari, which is an Indian traditional dress from one of the teachers in India, and it was really a gift to my wife, and that's really commendable, and I'm happy about being part of the school enterprise for those reasons.
Amazing, Jobert. It's very, very nice to hear everything that you've gotten and benefited from. I'm sure you must feel very proud of yourself with everything you've accomplished. And it is particularly satisfying to hear that you continue to grow the impact of the School Enterprise Challenge by sharing your expertise with others and through your new ventures. Now, Divya, following on the benefits that Jobert mentioned he gained, as you know, the School Enterprise Challenge aims to equip young people with the skills needed for success after school, whether that is in further education, in employment, or into entrepreneurship. How have your former students who have taken part in the program gotten on since graduating?
Of course, an example of this is my former student, Asmi Jain. After working with the enterprise for 3 years, Asmi took her own path. And now we are extremely proud to cite that she successfully ran a business named Weaving Waste independently, following all the steps she learned while working with Sanjeevani Embracing Life. After graduating from school, she is now pursuing fashion designing and aspires to own her own range of fashion clothing. We are extremely proud of her. Students are motivated to follow her footsteps, considering her their role model. And it is not just Asmi. I have seen a noticeable difference between the students who take part in the school business and the ones who don't. My students from the school business are more proactive, taking part in multiple activities, from the student council to taking part in other competitions. They are often called upon to represent the school in diverse settings.
Thank you, Divya. It's great to hear about the difference the program has made in your students. And an example of that is you said they're called to represent their school in diverse settings, and here we have Anchor as well representing his school. So that's fantastic to see. So after hearing about all of these benefits, I'm sure many must be thinking, this all sounds fantastic, but I can't implement this. It sounds very difficult. So what advice would you give to other students and teachers who might be watching this and think they don't have the resources or the time to get started?
Well, I would say you already have the greatest resource, the innovative and creative minds of your students. Just let them put their thinking caps on and explore their creativity. In our case, we were able to use their fantastic musical and artistic abilities to set up their business.
I agree with Divya ma'am, and here I would like to add that it is neither the time nor the resources that we often lack, but a belief that we can. I strongly feel that to get started with a school business team, the most valuable resource required is a team of dedicated students with a passionate lead teacher who believes in her team.
Amazing. Thank you, Anchor and Divya, for this motivational message to finish with. Now, our team backstage has been busy receiving all your questions, and we would like to take some time to answer a few of them. So let's see. We have a first question here. Let me just read it 1 second. So this is a question for both Divya and Jobert. How does the school business model fit in the day-to-day school activities or other existing school commitments? Divya, would you like to answer that first?
Yes, I feel that it is not very difficult. By planning strategically and gradually, you will be able to fit in your business as we did with all our school subjects. Your teachers and students, all the school, every member of the school should be aware of this business. You have to make it like popular, and then you have to take help from all the teachers. Like we can take help from the activity teachers, like for making jute packs. I have taken help from the art teachers in my school. Like we have 3 art teachers, and we distributed the bags among them, equally. So they get it done. They get the bags painted during their regular classes. So it relieves our team from the extra burden of producing and designing the jute bags. Same we did for terracotta jewelry also. We have given the work to the sculpture and art teachers who actually did it in their regular classes with the help of other students. And there is one more benefit of doing this, that we are actually trying to involve everybody in the school. Like it is not only my core team who is working for the enterprise, it is we are imparting skills to everyone. Like if the work is being carried out in the regular periods, then each and every student of the school is directly or indirectly being involved in the activity of the enterprise. So they also develop skills and an interest to follow this entrepreneurial journey.
Jobert, would you mind answering the same question about fitting the school business model with your day-to-day school activities?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Initially, it was quite a challenge, but because generally the feeling is you are wasting the students' time, they are losing their learning time. When they are being active in the business. But as time went on, we discovered a way of bringing other teachers into the picture, to the effect that, at least what I've realized, business is really a cross-cutting kind of model which involves generally more than half of the subject areas that the learners are involved in. So as a result of that, in areas where we needed a technical expert, would then bring someone from a subject area to take us through that, and they will then relate it to their learning area. I'll give an example. When we were working on the magazine, we worked with the English department because they knew the editing and so on and so forth. We worked with the computer department because of their knowledge of designing. And later on, when we shifted to food production, we approach the agricultural department. They gave us permission to use their fowl run. And at the same time, they gave us the technical advice, the stuff that had to do with keeping chickens, because out of the experience that they had over the years. And in the recent project that the learners are working on, they're actually working with the food technology department. So it's really a matter of involving everyone, making them understand that this school business model is not necessarily maybe a commercial subject only. It really involves everyone. It's really an element of team teaching, convincing other teachers that by bringing in their subject areas, what you are simply doing is you are breathing life into what they teach in class as theory. So, which is really a departure from the business model being an extracurricular into becoming the core curricula, as it breathes that life to the theory that we've been teaching students all along. So basically, that's how we've gone about trying to make sure that everyone is involved and we are not seeing as people are disrupting the learning process in the school.
Thank you both for your very thorough answers. I think what I get from both of your answers is that the most important thing is to try to involve everyone in your school, and that's the way that the most benefit can be get from the school business, and how also it's a school business is so flexible that you can adapt it to include as many subjects as you like. And although it might be seen as something that may not be relevant to all the other subjects, actually there is a way that you can get the children and in the different subjects involved. So now, Anchor, we have a question for you. How do you balance the school business activities with your academic schoolwork?
Okay, so I want to answer this question in this way, that if you have interest on something, you yourself will start finding time for it. So I am really very much interested in such school business activities, and in my case, like, I get some zero periods and some activity periods. So I utilize those times in participating in business activities, and in case suppose I miss any of my subject periods, then I take the notes from my friends from that very day and clear the doubts from my teachers the next day. So that's how I balance between my academics and the school business activities.
Thank you, Anchor. That's a great answer, and you seem very organized with it, so it's very good to hear. Now, a question from Juan from our audience for both our teachers. We can start with Jobert this time, but do you see any difference in the academic results of students that have participated in the School Enterprise Challenge compared with those who haven't? Jobert?
Thank you very much. Yes, there is a difference. Initially, their interest in school actually improves. Their attendance improves. And I think the fact that they are seeing the reality of what they are learning in class, in practice, it then makes them have an interest in their schoolwork. Furthermore, because of that generated interest, the practicality of what they are learning, their performance also increases. So in my experience, in the past 4 years or so, I've realized that those who have taken part in, the alumni, of the program, I've had most of them doing very well in their school leaving exams. That's advanced level exams, and it could be more than 70% of them are now attending universities, and 4 of them, I'm proud to say, they're attending a very prestigious African university, and it was all because of the recommendations that they got because of their participation in the program. So maybe just to say, it goes beyond the academic work that they do. Now institutions are no longer focusing more on the number of A's that a student produces, the good grades that a student produces, but they also focus on the other activities that the student was involved in. So in that context, I've seen how it has really worked. Their interest in school, their interest in other activities, which really add to their profile as they leave school for as they leave high school for tertiary education.
Definitely. I also second with Jobert that students definitely they want to attend school more regularly. They do not want to take even a single leave because when we give them opportunities, they are very talented, they are creative, and they also have a feeling of ownership towards the enterprise. So they want to come regularly and complete all the work on time. And this program also give them ample scope in various subjects. Not only they're not only running business, they are also improving their language skills when they are writing advertisement, or when they are writing an email to the customers, or for procuring a sale venue, maybe to a person in a mall. So they are improving their language skills also. And when they are doing the financial planning, they improve their mathematics and the accounting skills and the business studies. So you can actually incorporate this program in all the subjects, and that's how students, the learners become multitasking. They know how to balance things, and they definitely show a better performance in academics also. Most of the team members in our enterprise, they are doing very, very well in academics. An example is amongst us today, Ankur. He is generally top the class with maximum score. So yes, they are doing well, and they are able to easily balance both the things. We just have to guide them and give them opportunity.
Whoops. Can you hear me? Yeah. So thank you both for your answers again. And yeah, it's great to hear that you agree, and that not only does the School Enterprise Challenge give your students the chance to develop skills that can help them in get better grades, but also that, as Jobert says, now the focus is beyond grades, and that this can help them achieve so much more than that. So it's a double bonus for that. We have another question now. This one is again for Anchor. It's from Mary from our audience. What do you want to do when you finish your studies, Anchor?
Okay, so I want to be an entrepreneur, and I think that School Enterprise Challenge is providing me a platform where I am developing my overall personality, whether it's my communication skills or leadership skills. It is providing me an opportunity to hone these skills. And like if I talk about myself, earlier I used to be an introvert guy, but after I joined my school business team, I got exposure to how to deal with the customers or how to organize an event with my team members. All these things helped me a lot to enhance my overall personality, and now I am quite confident that in the future I will be a good entrepreneur. As you know, I am now familiar with all these things like how to handle finances, how to put up stalls, how to handle the customers, etc.
Great. Thank you, Anchor, for your response. It was very well-rounded. So now a question from Bright from our audience. This is for the teachers. Did being part of the School Enterprise Challenge improve your way of teaching as a teacher? Would you like to start, Divya?
Surely, without a doubt, I think. Because, I don't know, we have also become more innovative and creative. We also, are growing along with our students. So we improvise, we try to find out new ways because while running the enterprise, we have learned how to grab the attention of customers and people around. So that's what we do in our classrooms as well. So we now know how to grab attention of our learners. So we adopt different strategies. I have never thought that the lesson, being a biology teacher, I have never thought that a lesson like microorganisms can be taught by using that old game, tippy tippy tap, what color you want. I have done that, but I don't know how come that idea came to my mind. But yes, I think it is all just because of this amazing program, because we keep on adding it keeps on adding some innovativeness and creativeness in us also being teachers. So I think I have really improved a lot, and now I have better ideas because we are out of that conventional teaching learning system. So such programs actually give us a scope of coming out of that setup where teachers will be speaking and students will be just listening. Now we all are doing things together. So that definitely give a better edge to us also.
Very true. I'll add to the effect that I believe that my teaching has improved indeed because of my participation in the program. Firstly, I'll highlight that, just entering the class and seeing it as a business itself changes the whole face of the class. You are seeing your learners as clients that need to be satisfied. So, and you need to to satisfy everyone in the class. So you then adopt different strategies so that everyone goes home satisfied that today I learned. So that's really one key takeaway. And then I've also learned that the students can really take control of their own learning. Besides, the business model that we're talking about, all other subject areas, students are so innovative, they're willing to go an extra mile so that they get the academic knowledge that they have to get in preparation for their exams. I'll give an example. In my heritage studies class, I've discovered that students can do research better than I can do it because most of the content that I need is with their parents, is with their grandparents, and so on and so forth. So I've then given them the leeway to lead in their learning. So they go to the research, they come back to class, they share the ideas. And this all came because I've seen how during our business model, students are willing to go out of their way to make the business work. So it's just the same concept, implementing it in classroom. Students have the capability, they have the willingness to go out of their way and learn. So it's actually made my work more easier in classroom, though of course it needs a lot of preparation on my part as a teacher.
Thank you both for your answers. It's great to hear how you've really changed your perspective thanks to this experience, and how you've become so you've become so innovative in your teaching. Um, I would like to take now a question from Pamela from our audience. She asks, from your experience, what would you say is one key ingredient for a school business to be successful? A quick one for all three of you. So, Anchor, would you like to start? What is the key ingredient for a school business to be successful?
Okay, so as I stated earlier, that I strongly feel that to establish a successful school enterprise team, the most valuable resource required is a team of dedicated students with a passionate lead teacher who believes in her team. Like once any business team has a good set of students as its members, the enterprise will surely grow. This grow in turn will help to create more interest among its members, and I can vouch for it since I faced a similar situation. Like my enterprise is also successful because we had a good set of dedicated students and we got a lot of support from our lead teacher.
Yes, according to me, the key ingredient to have a successful business is just let the students own the enterprise. That feeling is irreplaceable. If you own something, we must have noticed in our everyday life also, when we own something, we take special care of that thing. So that happens with the enterprise as well. If they have that feeling of ownership towards the enterprise, they would feel that they are working for themselves. They are not working for the school, or they're not working for anybody else. So they will definitely put in more efforts, and they try to be more creative, and you will see better results.
That's very true. I'll also add that in our case, we've had support, tremendous support from the parents. They are really willing to see their students excel. It's a bit of a challenge though, because culturally we're still focused on students achieving high grades, and there's a feeling that maybe if they spend most of their time doing their business, it's sort of wastage of time. But we've really had support from the parents, and that has made our business ventures a success. I would mention the support that we're getting from the school administration. There's a lot that is involved in their part. They really put everything on the line to make sure that this whole business is accepted not only by the parents, but even by the higher offices, the district offices, the provincial education offices. And maybe lastly, I would also mention that because we are based in a city, we've also had support from the business community in terms of them coming to help us, mentoring our learners. We've had different volunteers coming in, with different mentorships, maybe on how to handle finance, on how to market their products, and so on and so forth. So it's really a multi-sectoral approach that can make this model a success, of which that's really the whole concept of modeling a rounded learner.
Great, thank you. Thank you all three for your answers. Very insightful. You mentioned, Jobert, right there, the importance of parents. So I would just like to take a question from Chris from our audience, who is asking, could you tell us something more about how parents have reacted to the model? You already told us a little bit about that. So would Divya like to add anything to, how parents react to the school business model?
Yes, initially when we started the enterprise, then some parents they have apprehensions, like they thought that whether the students will be able to manage both the things, academics as well as this work together. Also, they were apprehensive about the grades being deteriorated because of more time devoted to the enterprise work. But once they have seen how their child has grown, and my team has actually proved even to the parents that yes, we can balance both the things and we will definitely improve, because it is a time for being a global citizen. We are talking about 21st century learners. So we cannot just read from the book and prepare for life. So this program is really important. Now the parents are very cooperative and they are actually helping us in all our endeavors.
Amazing. Thank you all for your insightful questions, and thank you to our panelists for their answers. Finally, before closing our event today, we would like to summarize all the great contributions from our panelists into 5 key takeaways that other schools or organizations can consider to replicate the impact discussed. So firstly, embedding the teaching of key life skills into the school journey is key to building adaptability and resilience in learners. We think that conventional education is not enough to ensure a lifelong success for people. They need skills that are valued by employers and that allow them to adapt to an ever-changing world. Secondly, preparing students for an uncertain future is best done through practical experience planning and running a real school business. As project-based learning tool, the School Enterprise Challenge and the school businesses are exceptionally relevant to life after school, and they empower young people with the skills they need to succeed whatever they go on to do after school. Thirdly, we want to emphasize the importance of empowering students to lead their own learning journey, supported by their teachers as facilitators. We believe that to enable students to pursue interest and find their own creative solutions to problems, educators must act as guides and mentors and not be the drivers of the project. As a fourth takeaway, we would like to remind you to make time and opportunity for your students to reflect on their experience and learn from their mistakes. While making mistakes may be uncomfortable, it is an essential part of the entrepreneurial learning process. And finally, as a fifth takeaway, don't forget to connect and share your expertise with your peers. We believe that transforming the future of young people and improving the education sector can be accelerated through the exchange of expertise and knowledge between teachers and organizations. Our programs like the School Enterprise Challenge offer a wide range of opportunities to connect with others. With that said, I would just like to end with a huge thank you to our panelists, Jobert, Divya, and Ankur, for sharing their expertise and insights with all of us. And thank you as well for T4 for putting this series together. And thank you to all our attendees as well for taking the time to listen to us today. We hope you found it interesting and useful, and that you venture out there to try out the school business model yourselves.
Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.